All right, everybody. Tonight is our Holy Week reflection for Tuesday of Holy Week, and today is April the 7th. So tonight's gospel reading is from the book of John, chapter 13, verse 21 through 33, and verses 36 through 38. And we visited this a little bit on Palm Sunday as part of the Passion reading, but tonight's reading is again revisiting Judas betraying Jesus. So this starts this way. When he had said this, Jesus was deeply troubled and testified, "Amen, amen, I say to you, one of you will betray me." The disciples looked at one another at a loss as to whom he meant. One of his disciples, the one whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to Jesus. So Simon Peter nodded to him to find out whom he meant. He leaned near Jesus and said to him, "Master, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I hand the morsel after I have dipped it." So he dipped the morsel, took it, and handed it to Judas, son of Simon the Iscariot. After he took the morsel, Satan entered him. So Jesus said to him, "What you are going to do, do quickly." Now none of those reclining at table realized why he had said this to him. Some thought that since Judas kept the money bag, Jesus had told him, "Buy what we need for the feast, or to give something to the poor." So he took the morsel and left at once, and it was night. When he had left, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. God will also glorify him in himself, and he will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. You will look for me, and as I told the Jews, where I go, you cannot come. So now I say that to you." Simon Peter said to him, "Master, where are you going?" Jesus answered him, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, though you will be able to follow me later." Peter said to him, "Master, why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you." Jesus answered, "Will you lay down your life for me? Amen, amen, I say to you, the rooster will not crow before you deny me 3 times." So again, that's a revisiting of Judas, Judas's ultimate betrayal, and Peter's the foretelling of what Peter ends up doing with his denying of Jesus on 3 separate occasions. So this is leads us to Bishop Barron's reflection on this reading. Friends, today's gospel is from John's account of the Last Supper, where Jesus acknowledges Judas as his betrayer and tells him to get on with it. And just as an aside, the story is a little different from the one we read on Palm Sunday, which was from the Gospel of Matthew. And a lot of times the same story doesn't have all of the particularly same details in it because they're written by different people. So the one on Sunday was Matthew's gospel, and this one was John. So it is a little bit different. God's desires have been, from the beginning, opposed. Consistently, human beings have preferred the isolation of sin to the festivity of the sacred meal. Theologians have called this tendency the mystery of evil, for there is no rational ground for it, no reason for it to exist. But there it is, stubbornly, always shadowing the good, parasitic upon that which it tries to destroy. Therefore, we should not be too surprised that as the sacred meal comes to its richest possible expression, evil accompanies it. Judas the betrayer expresses the mystery of evil with particular symbolic power, for he had spent years in intimacy with Jesus, taking in the Lord's words and thoughts at very close quarters, sharing the table of fellowship with him. And yet he saw fit to turn Jesus over to his enemies and to interrupt the Last Supper. Those of us who regularly gather around the table with Jesus and yet engage consistently in the works of darkness are meant to see ourselves in Judas. Reflect. When have you been confronted with the mystery of evil, and what role did your faith play in processing that confrontation? And what he means by that, I say this to you all frequently, is the devil isn't some red-faced guy with horns. The devil is much more subtle than that. He is temptation. He is things that you don't necessarily see but feel. that feeling when there's something that you know you shouldn't do, but there's this voice telling you, go ahead, nobody will know, nobody will find out. That temptation is the devil. So, in this question, when have you been confronted with the mystery of evil, and what role did your faith play in handling that confrontation? In those moments when you have those temptations, hopefully you'll fall back on your faith and understand good and bad, right and wrong, what you've been taught from your families, from your church, from your teachers, and use that to always do the good thing. So I hope you guys stay safe. I'll be back tomorrow with another reflection, and think on that tonight. Um, what role your faith plays in confronting the mystery of evil. Have a good night, everybody.